check this out. This is a 1937 Luss auto scooter. It's a bumper car. If you were at carnivals or amusement parks in the 1930s, you probably would have seen something like this, except this one is on a golf cart chassis and it's wicked cool. Let's check it out. Now this is my dad, Captain Dirk Van Rees, and this is his Luss auto scooter. Now tell me a little bit about the history of the actual bumper car portion of this.
So this is a 1937 Luss auto scooter, founded on Craigslist. Of course, came out of California. All the cool stuff comes out of California, right? So bought it, shipped it to Atlanta, and started to take it apart.
Yeah, and so what you were telling me is that back in the day, there were basically two major brands of bumper cars, right?
Exactly. Dodgem was the big competitor to the Luss auto scooter. The Dodgem was a little more affordable, and so most amusement parks you would see the Dodgems. Auto scooter a little more expensive. The manufacturing was more involved, and also they typically had a 2 or 3 tone paint job, while the Dodgem was just a single color.
Okay, so this is more like the Cadillac, you would say,
yeah, exactly.
of the bumper cars from back in the day.
I mean, the really nice amusement parks would have these and invest a little bit more in these cars. So they're a little harder to find.
And the design of this is just wicked cool. Now, basically what's done here is that this bumper car, if you can't tell, it's sitting on a golf cart chassis, and we'll in a moment get into basically how this was put together. But something really cool is that this whole front piece right here is all one piece of aluminum.
Yeah, it's a single cast aluminum piece, and they would, every few years, the design of the Luss auto scooter would change, and they were trying to mimic popular cars of the era. Now, this being a 37, this is one of the ones that I really like. But if you look it up online, you'll see they're all different, and they're all unique. So it was very expensive to manufacture these.
And there's a couple things that you did slightly differently with the design on this one. So this piece of trim used to be different.
Right. So if you look carefully, you can see it. These edges kind of angled down slightly. I did some grinding on it. Originally, this piece came down at an angle. It would have ended right about here, and then there was another metal trim piece that went all the way around the back and over to the other side. And so you could have one color down here, another color in the middle, another color up top, or however the particular client wanted to paint it, but it made it much more expensive. When I put this together, I took some artistic license. I thought, I really like these pieces being parallel. I don't really want that piece around the back. Did some modification, which a purist would probably not appreciate, but anyway, this is what I like, so I like to play around with it.
And it came out wicked cool. So this is a Lamborghini orange, right?
Lamborghini orange, and then the satin black gives it a nice highlight.
And then it's also has a really nicely upholstered seat with this.
Yeah, this is a leather seat with orange piping that matches the Lamborghini orange.
So let's check out this panel that controls actually both the air suspension on this, because it does have air suspension, and all the lights.
Alright, so what we have here is a power button. A little green LED comes on when it's powered up. We've got the air pump that puts air pressure in the tank and on the back of the vehicle. So over here we have front left, front right, 2 momentary switches for the front, 2 for the back. If I push them down, suspension drops, go back up.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked cool. So it's fun. I mean, here you can see the tank on the back. When you park this somewhere, you can actually just go air down. And the air suspension actually rides pretty nice. Back here behind the air tank, you can also see that this golf cart chassis has a more powerful engine than from factory that my dad and I put in there. And it's what? It's
about 12 horsepower versus 3.5 for the standard cart. So she's got a little get up and go.
The other interesting thing mechanically in here, let's go ahead and pull off these seat covers, is that actually this golf cart has lithium-ion batteries instead of lead acid, which is nice because they're lightweight. However, there are some issues. Tuning up a golf cart to be faster is apparently pretty difficult.
It's pretty difficult, and these batteries are self-protecting. This is early technology, and so if you throttle up too fast, too hard, they will click themselves off because the amperage draw is so huge out of them. So they protect themselves.
Yeah, so it's kind of like driving my truck. You got to roll on to the throttle. But, I mean, it's definitely a lot quicker than it used to be. And here you can see this is the mode where you can put it into tow mode. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Also, there's two battery chargers that are integrated into the cart. This one charges a small battery for lights and the control system. This charges the 4 batteries that run the engine.
Yeah, now let's go ahead and piece it back together. And let's just get a wide look at this, because really the coolest thing about it is the way that it looks in terms of style. It's just awesome to check out. And actually one really cool style element that's not functional is this power pole right here. Now originally, of course, this contact at the very top would have been how this was driven. So it was basically a grid, almost like, what, chicken fencing?
Yeah, it was like a chicken wire that was up high so you couldn't touch it, and that's where the power came from, flowed down through this pole to the motor, and then the rear wheel. Now, you have to imagine this cart sat on the ground. It was very, very low. It's sitting up, 6-8 inches right now, but it would be right on the ground, and when you stepped into them, you stepped down into them. It had metal wheels in the back, and the floor was also metal. So power flowed through the cart, out the rear wheels, which were metal on metal, and so if you bumped into someone, they would just spin out and slide. But that's how the electric contact was made.
Yeah, and what's cool is, yeah, this pole is obviously just aesthetic now, but you actually found a real carbon fiber pole to mount it on, just to make it a little bit sportier, which I think goes really well with this orange and black theme.
Yeah.
Now, another reason, so this golf cart chassis that you put under here, it's a club car, right?
This is a 2010 President club car chassis, and I chose this because the frame is aluminum, the front end and the way that the steering and suspension work would allow me to adapt it to what I wanted to do with it. The other choice, Easy Go, has a steel chassis. They make a very good product, but it wasn't going to work for what I was trying to do.
Now, how difficult was it mounting this body on the golf cart chassis?
And these are some of the challenges I really enjoy. There's no manual for how to do this. In fact, I don't know that anyone has done this. So you have to kind of engineer and build stuff, fabricate things as you go, and that's part of the fun of the challenge. So one of the hardest things was welding up and fabricating braces for the airbag suspension, modifying the leaf springs, and in the back that was hard enough, but the really difficult challenge was up front and getting the steering to work. So this is the original steering gear. So
originally the steering would have gone from there straight up, but you obviously didn't want a steering shaft to come through the front of the bumper car body.
Right, exactly. This is a rack and pinion, and it's sat up at a different angle, and the steering shaft pretty much goes straight through it. There is a universal right here, but I had to install a second universal because the angle of the wheel on the bumper car is quite different than on the golf cart. So to match them up, I had to put in a pillow bearing, a second universal joint, welded in another shaft to transfer the steering torque over. So it works pretty well. It's not perfect. Front end alignment is always an issue. I get more toe in, toe out depending on the ride height.
Yeah, so I mean it definitely doesn't steer like a 911. You'll want to be paying attention as you drive it, but it's still a ton of fun to drive. You've also got these pod lights here on the front in addition to the more aesthetic lights that would have been...
These are the original lights, and whenever the ride, everyone would get in their carts and they would turn on the power and the lights would light up. And let me see, I can light those up for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then here's the brighter pod light. So you've got both a spot and a flood on these down here, which is pretty cool. And they're bright. They work really well.
Yeah.
So the other really interesting thing that you managed to keep from the original bumper car is this is actually...
It's the original bumper. You know, it was one piece that went all the way around and attached together in the back. And I cut two sections that were halfway decent. I actually flipped it upside down because the bottom had seen less UV damage. And so you have just a little taste of what the original bumper around the cart looked like. And of course it interferes with the wheels of the golf cart chassis if I had it all the way around.
But yeah, it's cool to still keep just a little bit of it,
exactly.
So people can see kind of what that looked like. And I like that this rubber, you can tell it is old and it is cracking. I mean, this is probably from the 30s. I don't know if they ever replaced these over time.
I don't, you know, they may have at times replaced them. Obviously you can tell it is very, very old, and I don't know where you would find that material today. So I just went and used what came with it.
Yeah, well, it is way cool, and honestly, this project has just come out amazing. I mean, when people see this going down the road, they get a huge kick out of it, and I don't blame them. It is one of the coolest, if not the coolest looking golf cart I've ever seen. Anyways, that's all for this video. Be sure to go back to TFL Classics for more videos on cool and unique projects. We'll see you in the next one.